Thank you for tuning in to SimPilot 2450. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could show your support for this video and the channel by liking and subscribing so others like you can find the channel. Let's go have some fun. Thanks. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and another flight with SimPilot 2450. Today we have a fun GA flight. And it's a short little flight. And when I say short, we are only talking 7 nautical miles. As you know, we're here in the United States, and if we head over to Washington State, this is a region that Orbx has done quite a few sceneries, and there are also a bunch of other sceneries in this area. So what we're going to do today, literally these airports are only 7 nautical miles apart. So we are going to depart Firstair Airport here in Monroe, and we will fly up to Harvey Field. We will land and stop in and have some lunch at the Buzz-In Steakhouse, and then we'll head back to Monroe. But I wanted to feature these two airports because it's two airports now that have been added to a region that just has a wealth of GA airports for you to fly around in. So let's go check them out. All right. Well, welcome to Firstair Field in Monroe, Washington. This is a payware scenery by Orbx. Let's take a little look at this scenery. This is a privately owned field, but open to the public. They have about 70 aircraft, I think, based here. But let's take a quick little run around the field. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is a great addition to the Washington area. We are basically here in Snohomish County, and there are lots and lots of GA airports, some really fun ones to fly to in this area. So Orbx adding these two sceneries, it's really given us some more fantastic places to explore. As you see, when you're approaching 25, you're going to fly right over the Evergreen State Fairgrounds and Evergreen State Speedway. For 25, it's a left-hand pattern, but for 07, it's a right-hand traffic pattern. Get a slightly displaced threshold here for 25. We'll come in here, we'll give you some detail. Pilot shop. We're all familiar with Orbx and the quality that they produce, and this one won't disappoint. This airport is pretty basic. There's not a ton of things here, but it's a fun little airport, a narrow little strip. You see, there are some hangar locations that you can utilize. So there's a quick little peek at the airport. Very basic. But a very fun airport. Alright, well, let's go fire up the JPLogistics 152 and we will head up to Harvey Field. Alright, meet you at the 152. Welcome to the cockpit of the JPLogistics Cessna 152. Let's get our doors closed, get our seat belts buckled, and we'll get ready to go. Alright, so let's turn on our fuel. I'm going to crack the throttle. I'm going to bring the mixture to full. Switches are all off. Parking brake is set. We'll come on with the master switch. Let's come on with our nav and our beacon. Check the area here. Let's open the window. Clear prop. Oil pressure's coming up. Close our window. And let's set our altimeter DG. We will be departing 25, so we can go ahead and set our course. There we go. Alright, things look good. Clear the area. Come off with our parking brake. Turn our taxi light on. Let's head out to 25. We'll do our run up down here. Alright, let's come on with our parking brake. Bring our RPMs to, let's go to 1700. There's 1800. Check the left mag. Right mag. That looks good. Check our carb heat. That looks good. Alright, well, let's get ready to go here. Come on with our strobe and landing lights. This trip is so short, I probably won't even turn off our lights. It literally is 7 miles to the airport. Final looks good. Alright, so let's check all our engine instruments. Looking good. Oil pressure is a little low, but that should come up when we introduce some power here. Carb heat is off. Our lights are all set. Trim is looking good, and flaps are up. Alright, let's get going. We're rotated about 50 knots. Airspeed is active. It's 40 knots. Yeah, it's 50 knots, coming back with a little pressure on the yoke. And we are airborne. We'll climb out somewhere around 60 to 70 knots. Now the easiest way to get to Harvey Field, you see the railroad tracks right here? We'll just follow those railroad tracks. Harvey Field is at the same elevation as Firstair Field, so we'll climb up to 1,100 feet and we'll level off there. So we will follow the railroad tracks and it will take us right up to Harvey Field. As I mentioned, it's such a short flight. I'm going to leave our strobes on, takeoff and landing lights. I'm going to leave all of that right on because we're going to be entering the traffic pattern very shortly. We will be landing at runway 33. At Harvey Field, so we'll set that. Let's level off here. So we'll come back with our power to cruise. So now I'm holding some down pressure because the airplane wants to climb as it's accelerating because we were trimmed at a lower airspeed. So now to relieve this forward pressure I'm holding on the yoke, I'm dialing in some down trim. These are the Little League fields here at Snohomish. This is the town of Snohomish. This is the Snohomish River. So this is the actual Harvey Field right here. So we'll go ahead and turn crosswind. across the field, and then we'll turn to our downwind. So we want to roll out when this heading bug is right here. That'll put us 90 degrees to our downwind. So we're like mid-field right now. You can see the runway here. So what we're going to do when we turn downwind, we want to turn somewhere right around this red roof here. That is actually marshland produce. I'm going to let us descend a teeny bit because we're 100 feet high. This is Route 9. I'm coming back with the power just a teeny bit. We want to lose about 100 feet of altitude. While we're already mid-field, I'm going to already come in with our carb heat now as we turn downwind. Here's our red roof marshland produce. So we'll roll out on a heading of 150, which will be our downwind heading. There, a little glitch. So you see our airfield here. We'll turn base when we have about a 45-degree angle off from the threshold. Still a little high here. Not quite 45 yet. Okay, that looks pretty good. So turning base, coming off with the power. I'm holding a little bit of back pressure on the yoke so we don't lose any altitude. And now what I'm doing is I'm dialing in some trim. I'm going to come in with 2 notches of flaps. And we're trimming for 50. Roll out here. Here's our runway. So with us being trimmed up, I can basically be hands off on the yoke, still dialing in a little bit of trim. So we have 2 notches of flaps in already. We got 2 to go if we want them. So let's go ahead and begin our turn to final. A teeny bit of power, so I'm going to just come in with just a little bit of power until we roll out on final, and then we can decide where we're at. So that's looking pretty good there. So now I'm going to reduce the power. We're maintaining our altitude or pitch with power. Coming in with a 3rd notch of flaps. Again, we're trimmed up for 50. Looking pretty good. So now we'll just get lined up with centerline. nice. Coming back with the power, and now we'll start our flare. There. We come up with our flaps. Come in with our carb heat. And what we'll do is we'll go into the restaurant, get a bite to eat, and then when we come out, maybe we'll do one pattern around the field, and then we'll head back to first field. So here we are at Harvey Field, S43. This is a payware scenery by Orbx. They've done a fabulous job here. You see this one's much more, this is a much bigger airport. It's still a nice GA airport, but it has a lot more features than the first airfield did. So we'll come over here. There is a little restaurant. It's called the WBSim Steakhouse. Go in and get a bite to eat. We'll come out, take a look at the airport, burn some calories off, and then we'll jump back in the plane. Alright, well, let's get all of our lights off. Alright. Can't see which way the switch is. Radios are already off. We'll come off with the power. Alright, so we'll go in, get a bite to eat at the restaurant, and then we'll take a cruise around the airport. And then we'll head back to first field. First airfield. I keep calling it first field. Alright, let's get out and get a bite to eat. Let's head to the restaurant. We'll get a bite to eat. And then we'll check out the airport. Maybe we'll go inside. No, let's go out on the patio and eat. Well, the deck looks nice. Let's go find a place to eat, to sit. Maybe we can get one by the plane. Ooh, these ladies have the table I want. Let's take a look here. There's the old JPLogistics 152, looking nice. Well, let's get a seat. We'll order up some grub, and then we'll take a tour of the airport. This looks good. Let's have a seat. Well, I don't know about you, but I am stuffed. Let's go around and walk around the airport a little bit, burn some of these calories off. So again, this is a payware airport. It is by Orbx. very nice job here. Got some skydiving. So you see we have plenty of hangar space. You see down here we just have an enormous amount of places to park. Got some helo pads. Check out a few of the aircraft. Some nice little aircraft, some 150s, 172s. You see there are plenty of spare parking areas for you to park your aircraft. Textures look really nice. The textures on these old barns down here, you'll see, are very, very nice. Could try to speed this up a little bit if you'd like. Well, we're almost there. Give you an aerial view again. I'm not the greatest tour guide, but hopefully this allows you to get a feel for the airport, see if this is something you would like to purchase or not. But aren't the textures on this barn kind of neat? Same thing with this building. Done a nice job with the roof. Those textures are great. Feels like we're there. Some welding in the railroad. I'm not sure what railroad that is. Maybe, let's see here, we'll speed it up a little bit. Maybe we have something on this engine that would tell us. No. So this is probably the home of the Harveys. Airport Road. Busy little road. And there is also a grass strip here, 3 left. So, you see, it's a fabulous little GA airport. Well, let's go jump in the JPLogistics 152, and we'll stay in the traffic pattern once, and then we'll head back to First Airfield. I don't think I checked this hangar out for us. Looking nice. So very, very nice. Well, let's go fire her up. Spin around the pattern, and then we'll head home. Well, there, I'm all buckled in. Get the door closed here. I am so stuffed. Hopefully we can get this beast off the ground. Okay, so our parking brake is on. Fuel's on. Let's crack the throttle. Mixture's coming full. We'll come on with our power. Nav light, beacon light. And let's open that window up. We'll check the area. Clear prop. Alright, we'll leave that window open for a bit here, just to cool things off. So let's taxi down to 3-3. We'll stay in the pattern once. And then we'll head back to First Airfield. Take our parking brake off. Things look good. Beautiful region to fly in. As I mentioned, this airport is located within probably 50 nautical miles of, a dozen nice GA airports, at least a dozen. It's a really fun place to fly. It's really nice now that Orbx has added this airport and Firstair Field. So we'll head down to the end of 3-3. Do a run up. Close our window, set our parking brake, we'll come up to 1800. Alright, left mag. Good. Right mag. Looking good. Carb heat. Looks good. Oil temperature and pressure is looking good. Alright, well, let's come on with our strobe, come on with our landing light, come off with our brakes. Final is looking good. Let's take the active. We will stay in the pattern once. Alright, all set to go. Coming in with the power. Airspeed is active. Is 40 knots. Is 50, coming back with a little back pressure on the yoke. Climb out somewhere right around 60 to 70. Holding back pressure on the yoke right now, so I'm dialing in some up trim to relieve that pressure. Basically flying a runway heading. Get to off our right door here, we'll see the Snohomish High School. Let's turn our crosswind. We'll keep our lights all on, so we're staying right in the pattern. So I'm going to roll out at 240. Okay, where's our little red house? Right here. Let's go ahead and come right around for our downwind, and let's begin our level off. Coming back with the power a little bit, coming with some forward pressure on the yoke to level off. Gotta hold that pressure because the airspeed is increasing and the airplane wants to climb. And now I'm dialing in some down trim to relieve that pressure. We really still need to come around a little bit more. That's looking pretty good here. You see we're about midway up on the strut. Here's the runway. So again, one of our visual clues of when to turn base is a 45-degree angle looking back here to the threshold. So let's come on with our carb heat. And there's a pretty good 45-degree angle, so we're coming back with our power, coming in with a little bit of back pressure on the yoke to maintain our altitude, and come in with a couple notches of flaps, and we're going to trim up for 50 knots. Out right here at 060. Here's our runway, and again I'm still bringing in some trim to relieve the pressure on the yoke. It's feeling pretty good right there. So again, here's our runway. So now let's go ahead and start to turn final. Are looking pretty good here. We might need a little bit of power. Coming in with a little bit. Not a lot. So right now, power is controlling our altitude or our pitch. Trim is taking care of our airspeed. We're trimmed at 50, and you see we're holding 50 very nice. So now just watch our pitch picture here. So I've reduced power some to increase our rate of descent. We can go ahead and come in with another notch of flaps if we like, and we could even come in with full flaps now if we want. We have the airfield made. There, we'll start to do our flare. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. There. Come up with our flaps. In with our carb heat. Full power. So we will head to Firstair Field now. And we'll do a nice landing there, and maybe a couple, who knows. So once again, the easiest way to get there is we'll follow the railroad tracks. I'm going to keep our lights on, seeing we're almost there. So this is Route 9. Now we got to find the railroad tracks. So we'll cross midfield here. And here's the railroad tracks right here. I'm going to bring the nose up a little bit, increase our rate of climb. Good. We'll slowly bring the nose down. We'll level off at 1100. Coming back with our power. So now we are holding down pressure on the yoke to maintain our 1100 feet. So now I'm dialing in down trim to relieve that pressure on the yoke. Dialing down trim. The trim isn't very sensitive on my Bravo, so you'll have to do a lot of dialing in. I'm still actually dialing in trim. Looking pretty good there. And we will be landing runway 5. So go ahead and set that. So again, this is the railroad bed that we're following. This is Waco Engineering right here, and here is the airfield. It's a fun little approach because it's a left-hand traffic pattern for 25, and you'll come right over the Evergreen Fairgrounds and Speedway. So again, Waco Engineering. I think this is Route 2. Alright, so we'll get ready. Here's the runway. So let's get prepared to turn downwind. And as a rough guess, I try to put the runway somewhere halfway up on the strut. So let's turn downwind and see how things are lining up. I think there's a road up here too that we can line up on. I think it was this road right here. Here's the Speedway Fairgrounds. Alright, so there we roll out. You see we're about halfway up the strut. So now what are we going to look for? We're going to be looking for our 45-degree angle to the threshold. Let's come on with our carb heat. Here's the runway right here. So we'll come out a little further. Get lined up a little better here. We're a little high, 100 feet high. Alright, so there's our 45. Gonna come back with our power. Gonna come in with a couple notches of flaps. And now I'm trimming up to relieve that back pressure on the yoke. base leg. Here is the runway. We can go ahead and come in with another notch of flaps. And I'm going to come in with all our flaps because we are high. That nose hopefully will settle down. Could put it into a little bit of a slip, but you see things are settling down now. The nose is coming down. We've got that last notch of flaps in. So here's the fairgrounds, the speedway. It is a displaced threshold, so we will be landing down here a little ways. You see how the nose has come in nice. We haven't even touched the power. I am going to come in with a teeny bit of power now. Come off for the power, start our flare. Very nice. Very, very nice. So we come up with our flaps. Come in with our carb heat. Back taxi. Well, there. Quick little flight, but I really wanted to highlight these two airports because they're located in such a great area to fly. Later we'll do some other flights from these airports out to some other ones like Orbx and many others, some longer flights, but I just wanted to have this quick little flight here to highlight the airports, plus to give you a little practice on landing. You know, these are tight little fields, narrow little fields, great little fields to practice in the 150. You see, the trick with landing is really maintaining the proper airspeed and glide slope, and we maintain our airspeed by trimming up for the proper airspeed, and then we simply just use the throttle to maintain our altitude and attitude for our glide slope. Once you learn to do that, the airplane will almost land itself. It really is kind of that easy. But if you're not maintaining the proper airspeed and glide slope, you'll never produce a good landing. So hopefully a couple of those little hints have helped you out. If there's a particular video or something you would like me to try to do to maybe help you in your landings, let me know. Give it a try. Alright, so we've got everything off. Let's come back with our mixture. Well there, I hope you enjoyed the flight. I hope you found it helpful. Till next time, have a great one. Thank you again for watching, and if you could, please show your support for this video and the channel by liking and subscribing, so others like you can find the channel. Thanks.